Guten Tag, grüezi miteinander. My name is Eve, and today I will talk to you about our experience with primary school in Basel Stadt. We walked to the school a week before school started, and we talked to the principal, and he went over everything we needed to know about the school system in Basel and answered all our questions that we had. My son takes French 3 times a week, and sometimes it's incorporated in his movement and Bewegung class. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so they move while they are counting in French. And my son absolutely loves this. And French class is submersive, so the teacher will full out speak in French. My 5th grader, my oldest son, he has English class, which is introduced in 5th grade. Because my son is so advanced in English, I hired a private teacher for him twice a week to work with. So while we are here in Switzerland, his teacher is covering everything he is missing. I signed my youngest son up for HSK English, which is a nonprofit, and they teach native English speakers English. So my children's school, they had a back to school night, and my oldest son's teacher talked with us before the Elter Abend, and she was answering all our questions, explaining everything, telling us in 5th grade they really want to foster independence. So fast forward to now, we kept asking my son's 5th grade teacher about information about the schedule or what they're doing and so on. She said, you really need to ask your son because I explained everything in class. He knows all the answers. Ask him. It's really important if he has a question to reach out to me directly and not you do it, because it's so important for him to be independent. So the way she worded it made me laugh a little bit because I was like, oh, we just got called out, but it's good. We have to also learn to let go and say, okay, this is your schoolwork. You have to figure out what you need to do every day, what homework you need to do. I can't be standing over you saying, hey, did you do your homework? Did you do your math? You should know what to do. If you went over it in school, you need to do it. So in America, we do not have swim class as part of the school curriculum. So there are so many kids that can't swim because they were never taught, either financial reasons, their parents are working, they don't have time to bring their kid to the YMCA to be taught how to swim. So there's so many reasons why so many kids, especially poor kids, can't swim in America. But in Switzerland, every kid is taught how to swim in school. So that's a life-saving skill. I feel that swim class should be part of the American school system. It's fantastic. So instead of gym class that day, they take the tram to the swim school and then they take the tram back. My 3rd grader's teacher, she provided all the school supplies for my son, but she requested that I buy a flat bottom book bag. She wrote a paragraph about this book bag and how it needs to stand by itself. She was basically writing like, don't bring in a floppy book bag. So I went to the store and I asked this lady, what book bag should I get? And she was showing me the flat bottom book bags. The swim/sport bag will button to this book bag, and you can also get a rain jacket for the book bag so it doesn't get wet in the rain. And then I asked her what book bag is good for 11-year-old. This one too. She's like, oh no, don't buy this one for 11-year-old. Like, it's not cool. And then she showed me the other book bags, but for my 5th grader, I just gave him his JanSport book bag that he had in America, and that was acceptable. That's no problem. You also need to buy an etui for your children, which is basically a fancy pencil case. So in Elter Abend, I understood around 80% what was going on, but the parents around me were really nice. They were like, do you understand what she's saying? And then I would say, I think she's talking about this. And they're like, yes. And then they would emphasize important points she was making. So that was really helpful. The parents around you are so helpful, and everyone's always trying to make sure you understand what's going on. If you speak 100% English, this Elter Abend going to be pretty difficult because they will full out speak in Hochdeutsch, and every so often they'll sprinkle a little Swiss German words in there. So there is a class fund, and I had no idea they even had a class fund because I never received an email or text or letter about contributing to the classroom. So all of a sudden she was talking about money, and then I asked the gentleman beside me, what is she talking about? What money? And she's like, oh, all the parents gave 110 francs for the class. And I said, well, how are you supposed to give her the money? Like, just hand her the cash? And he's like, yeah. And then for my oldest son, I got a little lost with what she was saying. I knew they were doing a bake sale, but then I wasn't sure whether you're supposed to give money. And so I wrote her and I was asking, am I supposed to give money for the class fund? And then she said what I said on Elter Abend, because it's so expensive, this ski trip my 5th grader is going to do in January. They're going to do a bake sale to raise money for the class fund. I thought it was really funny because, like I said, I understood 80% of what she was saying. And so I think she was like, I already said this. I was paying attention, but I probably missed some of it. But that's going to happen. So my children have a sports class. And in this sports class, my oldest son, who's in 5th grade, wears Hallenschuhe, which is a non-marking shoe. But my youngest son, who is in 3rd grade, can either wear Schlepperli or he can be barefoot. So I was like, wait, why are you doing sports in your bare feet? It's very strange that they don't wear gym shoes in gym class. It totally threw me up. I'm like, wait a minute. You don't wear gym shoes to class. You can either wear Schlepperli or barefoot. My son was like, yes. I'm like, you run around on the floor in your bare feet. Yes. And of course in the school district, which I've known this because I went to Switzerland for kindergarten, they do have to wear house shoes in the school, which I totally understand. The older kids sometimes don't have to, but the younger kids, they have to switch into their house shoes, which I get because, I mean, God knows what the kids are walking through when they walk to school. So in the Basel school system, they also offer religion class, which is basically ethics, and it's optional. You don't have to do it. So if they have religion class, you can just opt out, or you can go, it's not graded. So children are given joker days, and their parents can take them out of school and they won't get punished for it. It's an excused day off, and you get a certain amount in primary school. So Fasnacht is a really big deal here in Basel, and they are learning how to make masks, paper mache masks for Fasnacht. So I love that they are always willing to take random field trips during the week, and they are very crafty. They have a craft class, which is textiles. For instance, my oldest son, who's in 5th grade, is using recycled bottles to make flowers. So something I didn't factor in was when my children were learning German in America, they were learning from Germans, from Germany. So they were super German. They've been hearing for the last 4 years German-speaking German. In the school system, they are speaking Hochdeutsch in class, but they have a Swiss accent. And I know with my oldest son, that has thrown him off a little bit. So he's amazing at writing and translating. His teachers were so impressed how advanced he was. But when it came to listening and speaking, he wasn't speaking a lot because his classmates keep correcting him every time he says something. And in a way that's good because then he learns proper German, but in a way it kind of hurts his confidence because he is scared of, he doesn't want to talk that much because he'll constantly be corrected. And I can see how that's a little frustrating. Every time you say anything, you're corrected, and then you feel like everything you're saying is wrong. So he just needs to gain his confidence. And what's so great about this school, they see this like, hey, you know, he's translating well, he's understanding everything in German, but when it comes to hearing and speaking to his classmates, he's struggling a little bit. So to help him with his interpersonal skills, they're going to let him work with the teacher to to help him gain his confidence, help with his German and listening. So anytime there's an issue, the teachers are on top of it. They come to me right away. They write me a message on the app, and they're like, hey, we're going to do private lessons for your son once a week, or in a group lesson, or he's going to be put in a group to help better his listening ears and speaking in German. So anytime there's an issue, they will come to me and they will get him the help he needs. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about getting him the extra help. They see it, they take care of it. And there is an after-school help for homework every single day. So in California, when my kids went there, they were very strict about nut-free schools and allergies, and when your child has a birthday, not bringing in food. But in Switzerland, it's the opposite. You can bring food in for everybody. You don't have to worry about nuts. You can give your children nuts in school. You can give them peanut butter sandwiches on field trips. My children have integrated really well into the school system, and even though it started off a little hard, each week gets better, and every month it gets better, and they're doing a fantastic job with keeping up with everything. My oldest son has always done very well in school, and he's continuing to do really well in school. He's thriving. My youngest son, he's doing really well too, but it did take him a little longer to adjust to the Swiss school system, but he really enjoys it. His teachers make it really fun. They're always really nice, and he always has funny stories to tell when he gets home. They have no problem making friends. What's really great about Basel is it's so multicultural. There are people here from everywhere, and there are English speakers, there are Italian speakers, French speakers, Portuguese. You hear all kinds of languages when you walk around. There are so many wonderful restaurants here. It's amazing, and I just love the diversity. I love the fact that my children get to go to school with a bunch of different people from different backgrounds, different religions. So it's a great experience. It's very enriching for them, and they are really nice, and they really get along with all their classmates. So that's really great. And it's not always going to be easy, but I know that their teachers are always looking out for them, and they have really wonderful friends. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Vielen Dank.